American sociologist and senior research scholar at Yale, Immanuel Wallerstein, still with us at the ripe old age of 87, may be best known for what is sometimes called world systems theory or world systems analysis. Allow me to share some of his words with you folks here. Okay. The 50 to 85% of the world's population who are not the recipients of privilege, the world they know is almost certainly worse than any their earlier counterparts knew. It is likely they are worse off materially despite the technological changes. In substantive as opposed to formal terms, they are more or less subject to arbitrary constraints, since the central mechanisms are more pervasive and more efficient, and they bear the brunt of the various kinds of psychic malaise, as well as the destructiveness of civil wars. And again, on the one hand, there has been a remarkable expansion of the total production and productivity of food production, and on the other hand, an extraordinarily skewed distribution system, substituting medium-run threats for short-term threats for the majority of the world's population, particularly the 50 to 80% at the bottom, unquote. I couldn't find a date for these quotes, so take that into account, perhaps when thinking about numbers. But we can't deny that the world is a shitty place for huge numbers of people for a variety of reasons. And much of that suffering is avoidable. Doesn't have to be the way it is. I can date this next quote. This comes from his 1974 Modern World Systems Volume 1. Quote, "In the 16th century, Europe was like a bucking bronco. The attempt of some groups to establish a world economy based on a particular division of labour to create national states in the core areas as politico-economic guarantors of this system, and to get the workers to pay not only the profits but the costs of maintaining the system was not easy. It was to Europe's credit that it was done, since without the thrust of the 16th century, the modern world would not have been born, and, for all its cruelties, it is better that it was born than that it had not been," unquote. Some might find those words controversial or whatever if they're not familiar with the subject matter. Another one. Communism is utopia that is nowhere. It is the avatar of all our religious eschatologies. The coming of the Messiah, the second coming of Christ, Nirvana. It is not a historical prospect, but a current mythology. Socialism, by contrast, is a realizable historical system which may one day be instituted in the world. Well, I agree with the first couple of sentences there, but socialism, I assume he means as a system replacing capitalism as the model for how the world functions, local, national, global. Difficult to see that happening given the current state of play. Desirable, debatable, I have my misgivings. A short one to finish. Uncertainty is wondrous, and certainty, were it to be real, would be moral death. Yeah, he said this in 1999, I believe. What does he mean? Scientific certainty about everything? If humans were to become all-knowing in the future, that's not possible, of course, but as a thought exercise, I'm failing to see how that would lead to moral death. Now, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Maybe someone can explain it to me in words that I might understand, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, take care, folks, and I'll see you next week. Peace.